Welcome guys to another crypto evening where we're going to be discussing, how long can this bear market last, quite frankly. So let's dive into it. Smokes, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good and soft. Can't complain. It's been an interesting day. Things played out exactly how we said on Friday night.
We said on Friday the market's going to do this. We spoke about this, and I hope some of the people obviously listened. We said to them, be careful, we're expecting this drop. And, let's actually we just had a discussion about this, so I think let's actually share this with the viewers. So El Salvador's GDP double digits for the first time in history. Now, this is extremely big news for any new government that wants to see what will happen for any new kind of country adopting crypto, as they're the first country that's kind of done it. And not only in this volatile stages have they seen phenomenal adoption, they're going to keep growing. And I think, this is what we're kind of expecting. If we're going to see a big bubble pop, we can expect this kind of movement. We're just going to see smaller governments and smaller countries starting to adopt crypto so they can start navigating the waters their way. So they're not formed as part of this monopoly anymore. They can really make free choices and start innovating with technology.
Look, definitely, based on the stats, they said that they've made more, money, the past 30 years, each January of the past 30 years combined, they've made more money than the last 30 years every January combined, which is phenomenal. $564 million. Which is amazing.
That's the kind of growth they need. I think any small country that's looking to get on the radar to also start creating innovation, they need kind of this capital and funding, and they've really gone to say, look, we're going to innovate, we're going to pioneer, we're just going to take the risk, and it seems that risk has actually paid off.
Well, look, it's majority of it is due to the exports that's been picking up. So they're talking about 13% or something.
Yeah.
But the fact that they, are so heavily invested in Bitcoin and looking at being fully decentralized is absolutely phenomenal. And I think it's really a big ups to them for doing this, for taking this bold move as a small country and saying, we're taking a stand, we are doing this, we are committed to it. Now, I know that not all their citizens are for Bitcoin. I mean, we've seen all the articles and the sort of bad rap, with the consumers. But I think the biggest thing is because people fear what they don't understand. If you don't understand something, there's a lot of risk involved. But if you understand what is your risk in any situation, whether it's in the financial markets, in your personal life, or whatever, if you understand risk, you can minimize it or you can control it to a certain extent. There's certain things that are obviously out of our control, but whatever we can control, those are the things that we need to focus on. And at the moment, they are trying to obviously minimizing their risk, diversifying and looking at the extra. They're also, getting some favor because they are now getting more publicity in the global market. So people that are for Bitcoin, if we look at the whole truckers scenario in Canada, these countries are getting more favor, and people that are in the sort of crypto realm, they will typically support these countries, and you'll see that it will pull a lot of interest and tourism to that country. Also with them building, the sort of first or the Bitcoin city, as they call it, they want to build. So there's a lot of things happening for them. The only thing that does worry me a little bit is that the commercials and the institutions, they are still in control of the markets, and they can really hurt these little guys, because in the end of the day, it's like a lawsuit. The guy with the most money, he wins the court case just because he's got deeper pockets and he can outlast the sort of lawsuit, which really sucks.
Look, and I think that kind of adds up to the whole conversation of how long can this bear market last, because we've seen it, that there's people that last year called that Bitcoin's going to go to the 100K level, whilst we said there's no money for the coin to go up right now. And why? Because the institutions kind of control that decision right now. So how long can this bear market go out? I think let's have a look at the chart and kind of have a discussion on, how long can this actually last? This, we could be going down for another year, and as you said, that could really hurt countries that's looking to adopt and grow with crypto right now.
Look, it's got pros and cons. If price comes down, the barrier to entry becomes more attainable, because the majority of people have this perception, Bitcoin is at 38,000, I cannot afford. But they don't understand necessarily that they can still buy a part of the Bitcoin. They can still hold a percentage of the Bitcoin. So it's not all to waste. The key is obviously accumulating that Bitcoin because of obviously the foreseeable value, because the limitations in the supply and demand, which means that the less scarce this product becomes, the more desirable it's going to be, the more the value of it is going to increase. So the same with Ethereum and some of the other projects. There will be obviously more gains to be made over longer periods of time, because the crypto market is not nearly as big as some of the other markets. The crypto market as a whole, if you look at, Apple stocks and that, that's more valuable than the crypto market at this point in time. So there's a lot that can obviously still happen for the crypto space. So let's have a look at the chart and just see where we are currently, so that we can get an indication whether we are still going down or still going up. Now,
and I think, and sorry to bother you, but I think another thing is, it's going to be interesting to see these kind of coins that are holding strong right now, like your XRP and some of the other stronger coins. What's going to happen if Bitcoin just decides to go down right now?
Well, we know what the answer is. Bitcoin is the lead indicator, and what Bitcoin does, the rest of the market will follow. So it is inevitable that if Bitcoin drags lower down, it will pull down the other altcoins in the market. It's just, unfortunately the way the market is, because you've got various scenarios where people are trading Bitcoin pairs. So when the market goes down, they tend to exit their positions, hold their, Bitcoin or hold their stable coins, and then obviously try and buy, back to lower, to obviously dollar cost average in, or to buy back more, take some profits and buy back more. So that is a bit of a tug and war scenario, but we will see some retracement, deeper retracements on a lot of the alts. Now we can see coins like Luna, that's been a very popular, very good coin project that has some great recovery. Today already it had quite significant gains. I know this is the weekly chart, but if we just look at this weekly candle currently, sitting at 6.84%. This coin seems to be holding and respecting that $48, $47 range quite nicely, and this seems to be a key level for reaction from there. So that is something that you'll see in the market with some of these coins. I'm not going to go through all the other coins that we've got, but this is just something that I point out. But currently we can see Bitcoin falling now currently quite strongly. It had, if we look at the daily, this morning we were sitting at what was this, 39,479. Am I correct? Let me just see. 39,494. Sorry. So we had that push up before seeing the price head down. So that was quite interesting to see. But also look at where price has opened and closed. So we saw this candle body open exactly at the bottom of the previous bearish candle. We saw price come up, causing a bit of a sort of, fake up, and now price is moving down. So if we see this candle body close below the previous candle, this would indicate some more bearish pressure. Currently, the candle is forming a bit of a doji. The wicks are more or less the same size on either side. So this does show us a bit of indecision, but we can see that the candle body, if it closes below this candle, that will indicate that there is selling pressure in the market. If we look at a bar chart, for example, and I know a lot of our viewers might not be familiar with a bar chart, but a bar chart shows you where prices open, where the distribution happened, or as we know it, accumulation, distribution, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, as you can see here, which is AMD. So we can see price, respecting that and starting to push down. So this is quite interesting to see, and it will be interesting to see where we finish off this evening, but looking at Friday's show and what we said was going to happen and how it played out. So we saw the weekend, we saw a bit of bearish pressure. So if you look at Friday's show, you would see that what we said is, because we had bearish pressure on the weekend, that would indicate that we'll have a slight drop into the morning, but then see overall a big push up on the Monday before seeing a correction later in the day, which is exactly what happened. So, and now we are here. It's the evening, on the Monday evening, and we can see that the selling pressure that we spoke about in Friday's show is actually happening to the T. So can this reverse from here? Totally. But if we look at the overall structure, looking at sort of lower time frames as well and lining that up from a higher time frame premise, we can see that the structure has broken to the downside. We can see that price failed to break this previous high, which is this, range here. We did not break above this. So that failed high that is located here, that indicated to us from a market structure perspective that price is going down. Now, this is not our opinion. This is facts. If we look at price, we can see that this has happened. So you can't argue the fact, Show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. This is what's happening now. So what's happening now is we are targeting these lows. And I would, be very surprised if we do not take out these lows, because that is the objective of the, commercials, the big institutions, is they are coming for these lows. If they could not take out the highs, that means these highs are protected, which means this was just purely, grabbing momentum, grabbing liquidity, unfulfilled orders, and all of this to come and target these lows.
So if you look on the daily chart, right? What if we actually then say that's liquidity that's been created right now for a big down move?
Yeah. So this is just a liquidity grab. I'm not going to go into the detail on that. If you want to learn more about it, go check out our course at TradeAcade.com. That's where we've got the university. We go through market structure in depth in various phases. We've got, the market structure course, which is complete mastering complete market structure. And then we've got the masterclass as well as the advanced masterclass, where we go and explain these concepts in detail. But in plain terms, this, failed new higher high, this new lower low that was created, that from a market structure perspective, in basic terms, is what we are looking for. And we combine it with, other knowledge about the market, and we can clearly see that the objective of the market maker is to come and target these lows. So we know that the market, moves in certain ways due to certain, objectives that the market makers have and the institutions and how they move money. And this is what we look for when we are trading the market or looking at trading the market or looking to add to positions or sell out of positions. So this would have been a beautiful short textbook, in my opinion. You wouldn't have had a better short opportunity than this in the market if you're looking for shorts. Not that we focus on, leverage trading per se. That's more for the advanced traders. But, if you are doing that, then this would be a textbook short, in my opinion, which I would have looked at potentially taking in this particular scenario. So, but currently I'm out of the market. Most of our viewers are also out of the market, waiting for us to give them indication of when we feel the market is actually now ready to move up. So we are all sitting on our hands waiting for the right time to buy. And this gives us a great opportunity as Bitcoin moves lower for the rest of the alt market to come down to our optimal trade entries, which we've got in the binoculars report, to get you the best possible entries that you're going to get. Now, it doesn't focus on the exact point. In some cases, like you'll see in the December reports, and that we had some pretty well executed entries which came within like not even $1, it came to a couple of cents. That's how accurate some of our buys were. But the objective is to look at zones and ranges so that we can get into the market and out of the market.
So how do you feel right now? What is your personal experience? From a fundamental point of view, the market is very that's my feeling about it. There's no better way of expressing it. They want to go up, they want to go down. There's a very, very big question mark, I think, right now.
So I've started touching more on the stock market as well, because what some of the viewers might know or might not know is that myself and Stoney, we're not just crypto traders. We trade Forex, we trade gold, we trade indices, we trade anything that looks like it wants to be traded. We trade it. So we look at various markets and instruments, and therefore we can obviously hone in the accuracy on the charts quite extensively, because we spend a lot of time on the charts. So a lot of you might not know that, but that's what we do as traders, because we believe that in order for you to be a good trader, you cannot only rely on one instrument. If you say you are trading, you say you are good, you need to be able to do any chart without any preparation and look at this chart and say, cool, what is your analysis? Is this thing going up? Is it going down? Where's my entry? Where's my exit? And that's what we are trying to achieve. We are not perfection. We still make mistakes. That does not mean that we are not consistent traders, because part of being consistent is knowing how to take losses. And this is quite crucial, and a lot of people don't understand this.
When to trade and when to take a break. That's also an important thing.
This is why we don't trade crypto at the moment. We are sitting on our hands. We are waiting for the right positions to get into the market. Yes, there's plenty of opportunities to take the short-term trends, but we know where the market is going. So we are not going to look at taking unnecessary trades. We might rather, gold is now a bit boring for me now. We had this massive correction, this morning, but, you can make a lot of money with it. You can also lose a lot of money.
Again, it comes back to risk management. You want to take as little possible risk and try and get as much possible reward from it. Even if it means that you possibly have to wait 2 weeks to 3 weeks for a setup, if the risk is worth the reward, then have patience.
100%. I think discipline and patience is super crucial when it comes to that. Now, just looking at the stock market, right? Just looking at the S&P, there's obviously other markets that we look at as well, but S&P probably the most well-known sort of index to look at. We can see that this has started to break down. We can see, this shift here. We can see this push down, another push down. We can see this ABC correction forming here, and we can see that there's a lot of selling pressure in this from this overall structure. So we can see this affects, the rest of the financial market. So therefore, we look at the stock market and a couple of other, markets and charts and stuff to get our formulation. But the reality is these things move from one market to another. We look at gold, just as an example. I don't want to go into detail because we want to focus on the crypto. But if we look at gold, for example, we can see it's started obviously recovering again, but we had this massive drop. Was it when 17? So that was, when was it? I saw it, was it this morning? It was, sorry, we're on the daily. So this morning it was at 17, what was it, 1708. And then it came all the way down, and now we can see that it's obviously pushing up. Now, gold's obviously between the whole Russia and Ukraine thing. We saw obviously massive moves.
People are going for safety, and like we said that on Friday. We can see that gold has been just climbing and climbing and climbing as people has just been accumulating as much as possible of it. Because war might break out. People are very scared of a World War III, and news is coming of a new World War. But again, I think Federal Reserve and banks and most governors today understand that going to war is not really the best solution for any country right now. So they'll try and resolve it on other matters, but we can still see that fear and greed affects the market overall.
But just remember, the governments make money out of war. So for them, it's beneficial. For the civilian, it's not beneficial. But for the governments, it is beneficial, because they get allocated funds, they spend money here, they have to lend money to other countries in aid of this and that, so they make money out of it. And that's how this whole Russia and Ukraine thing is happening. And, it's creating fear and greed because a lot of people don't understand all these factors. So it does affect, it in one way or another. But as we can see in the news, there's not much going. There's a lot of talk about regulations. There's, a lot of countries trying to obviously look at how and what they're going to do with crypto and how to regulate it. Like I saw another article between the UK and South Africa, with regulations and how to regulate it. And all these, big guns in the government is trying to figure out and put their heads around how they can regulate and control it. So,
and look, that's the big problem with with the big topic. How long can a bear market run? It all depends on how long these institutions and Federal Reserves are going to take with regulation. If they decide that the crypto is not ready for them or how they see things to run, until we see more countries like El Salvador just adopting crypto and becoming mainstream, they can have this bear market go for the next 2 years. If it takes them 2 years to become happy with how they want to run things and regulate it, it will happen, and we can wait another 2 years. Not to say that we will, but again, that's how long things can take. Again, 2 years is a very short period in the long time span that we're looking at. In a time horizon of 10 to 15 years plans, I think 2 years is nothing. So these institutions are looking at a very larger scale. They have 10 to 15 year plans. So the movements they make and making a decision to make the bull market run for a year or crash for another year, it's all based on much longer term plans.
Yeah, but also things like with the rate of the whole Bitcoin and crypto adoption, I don't think necessarily that it will take that long, but again, this is our speculation about how long this will take. This can be over in 3 months. This can be over in a year. This could be over in 6 months. We are not here to try and predict how long this is going to take. If we look at past data, 350 days, 209 days, all these numbers we can throw around and say, oh, but 2017 this, 2018 this, 2019 this, and that. That is, past data will give you some form of indication, but it's not necessarily the case because it depends on what's happening in the markets globally and how and what's happening in the world that affects how rapidly something will move. Look at last year, December. From December till May last year, how much news and hype was created in this year that we said, this is going to go down. We called it on the 18th of April last year. We called it, we had that sort of rising wage. So, we saw this, extended diagonal in the Elliott wave happen on the 18th of April, and we saw the drop coming. But we saw that for a 3 month period or whatever it was, and then it started recovering so deeper. The best we can do now is look at the market structure and determine based on market structure, because that will give you the most accurate indication of when the market is actually moving. Until now, we have not seen that indication, and therefore we have not pulled the bull market start yet, because we don't believe that it's happened yet. The market's not ready, and as you've mentioned on numerous shows, you don't think there's enough money to push this thing up right now. So we are waiting for the market to show us the direction. And until such time, we are not going to say, right, this thing is now ready to move. So let's wait it out and look at what the market structure tells us so that we can stay objective and try not to predict the market, because we can see based on our past results that, focusing on the market structure does work, and it does give you a high level of probability and accuracy for calling the movements in the market. So I think that's it for us. If you like our channel, you like the content, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out the TradeAcade.com website where we've got all our courses. You'll find our binoculars report on there and more information about TradeAcade and what we offer. And then don't forget to tune in on Monday evenings at 8 o'clock South African time, 7 o'clock Nigerian time, and I believe it's 10 o'clock Dubai time when we are available for the show. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next webinar. Cheers, guys.